Hello everyone, these are the Ugandan board game pioneers, and I am Patrick.
I'm Arnold.
And
I am Joseph.
Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channels. Last time we had 6 and now we have more than 500. Thank you for your subscriptions. We've chosen Lost Legends today and we are going to review it because it's one of the games we've played a lot. We are going to explain some of the rules of the game because we know that it's not a common game.
So these are the character cards and they are representing the different characters in the game. For example, this one is the wizard, this one is the barbarian, and over here is the dungeon cards. This one is for equipment cards, and this one is monster cards for level 1, level 2 and level 3.
These are gold tokens used to buy equipment for the dungeons. These are trophies obtained when you defeat monsters. These are wound tokens which are on monsters to keep track of the damage which is taken by them. These are victory points which are obtained during the game and at the end after you reach the experience on the experience track. These are markers, which this one marks the mana of the character sheet, and this one also marks the health. The blue cubes mark the mana for the characters. The black ones mark the experience points, and the green ones also mark the health.
This game uses the drafting method and you choose cards which best suits your strategy. Here I have 4 cards and one of them is the short bow. This is one of the least powerful weapons in the game. Deals 1 simple damage and deals 2 damage if you have the skill. And another one we have is the magic robe, and this one reduces 1 magic damage and reduces the kills damage if you spend a mana. And then we have lightning bolt, which is a good spell because you are allowed to refresh it using your mana, and afterwards you can use it again, but other spells you only get to use them once. And here we have the magic bandages, and this is a good one because it raises your mana by 1, and if you flip it you get healed. The main winner of the game is the one who gathers the most victory points, and victory points you earn them by killing monsters which are here and getting experience points, because if you gain 16 experience points you get 8 victory points at the end of the game, up to 30 experience points where you get 20, and most gold. Here are 6 sets of cards, and these ones are the monster cards, and they are marked by these humanoid symbols. And here is one example of the monster. It is a troll, and the reason why I like it is because if you don't kill it right now, it increases on the health of other monsters at the end of your turn, which means that you have to kill it. So it gives other people challenges. So that was basically the rules. And so what did you guys think about the game? Shall we start with you?
Yeah, I think what I like about the game is the components. There are very few and it doesn't need a lot of setup, and then it is also very easy to play. So you are meant to be part of a team, but it is more of competitive, because if you find yourself having a very tough monster, you can pass it on to your neighbor and you say you can have it, you go at it, and then you get those easier monsters and pass through them. So I like the game because it is competitive. Another thing about the game is that it is flexible. For example, if I get a very nice axe, I can use a wizard as a barbarian. So it is not determined by the character you are playing, but it is determined by the cards you pick up. That's a good thing, but then the game is not replayable. For example, you can't say, today let me play a wizard, because you can use the same strategy. Even though you have a barbarian, if you get nice spells, you can turn that barbarian into a wizard. I played this game many times because I have my strategy of getting nice weapons, so I use the same strategy again and again.
What I like on the game is the character cards. They have more room for the cards to fit on, like this. They have the resemblance to fit, and there's enough space for it. It makes you like feel the character is yours. The character card is yours, and it's you who is using it. And the other thing is, I like this system of turning weapons into skills. It also makes you turn from, if you were a wizard, it can turn you into a barbarian into a wizard. So it helps you get those nicer weapons.
I like the game because of the strategies you can develop from for winning. For example, how you can place your weapons to make you win. And another thing I like from the game is the leveling up, because you can easily level up every time you kill monsters, and the more you level up, the more chances you have to win the game. I like these trophies because it allows a person to go for a variety of monsters, because here you'll kill 2 dragons, but if you want to gain this trophy, you'll have to kill 4 types of monsters so that you can gain such a trophy. And what I don't like from the game is that it's fiddly, because every time you end a round, you have to give out these cards so that people can place in new weapons, and that one makes the game longer. And one other thing that I don't like from the game is that it does not really give you the role-playing bit of it. One other thing that I like from the game is that it gives you pride. Like, you can keep track of how many monsters you've killed. For example, if I've killed this troll, I can place it here to show that I have finished to kill it. So more monsters you kill, the more you put them there, and so that gives you pride, because you're confident that yes, I'm doing something in the game. This is not a good introductory game for Ugandan kids, because it took a few plays for us to know all the rules. For example, we used to do some things that are against the rules, so that one is not good. But it's a good game for strategies. For example, how well you're going to plan your weapons for the future, and what you're expecting throughout the game. So it also gives you that element of expectation.
Okay, I think the game teaches us, all Ugandan kids, how to use their resources wisely, because there are some cards which are in this game which need to be used at the right moment, in the right place, with the right monster. So I think that it teaches us that element. And the other thing is, it's not easy for us Ugandan kids to learn it the first time, but as you continue playing it, you will gradually start catching up and get it.
So the game is a good game for people who are exposed to very different types of board games. But now, if you are teaching them to kids who have not yet gone deep into the board games, they will get scared, because the different monsters, they are not yet used to them. For example, the trolls. So they will be asking themselves, what is a troll, and all those stuff.
For the mythology of Europe, Arnold and Joseph, we are used to it because we are used to playing games like RPG, board games, and so we are used to European mythology. But when you come to these other kids, they might not be too much exposed, and so it needs a lot of teaching and explanation. That's one thing that limits us with teaching board games in Uganda, because some kids are not used to the mythology of Europe, and so they would not easily understand what you're talking about. There are some things that for us we know and they don't know. One of them is that we know most of the range of weapons that are there in the European mythology. For example, great axe, large swords and stuff. But in Africa we have spears, bows and shields, of course. Those are what limits most of these kids.
They don't know spells such as lightning bolt. They don't know these bandages and these cloaks like armor.
And
they're not used to wearing armor.
We've played this game several times and we've enjoyed it, and it's not a game for new players, but if you're new and you really want to play it, you can play it many times so that you can get used to the rules.
Next week we are viewing Battlestar Galactica, and Beckham is not here right now because he hasn't played Lost Legends, but we're hoping he will be back next week for Battlestar Galactica.
Tuesday week we are heading up to Koro for the Game Changers event. We are going to teach the rural kids to teach in order for them to teach others. And in that event we are hoping to do our 4th podcast.
For those who have subscribed, thank you, and those who have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. And if you've liked the podcast, recommend it so that others can also subscribe. And we'd like to develop our skills as podcasters. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.